Hello everyone, my name is Neeraj, and in this screencast we are going to discuss Jquery Selectors. Here I am at jsfiddle.net page. If you do not know what jsfiddle.net is, then it is a web-based tool where we can quickly test our JavaScript code without worrying about other factors. Here I have selected jQuery 1.6, which means that when I hit run over here, then jQuery 1.6 will be selected and it would be ready for the use. Here I have HTML markup, and this markup is producing this HTML. Here I have a div which has h1. Inside that I have the text market capitalization, then another div, then table. Table has a number of TRs, and each TR has an ID. That ID represents the stock symbol for that company. Inside the TR I have 3 TDs. The first TD has class column 1, second TD has class column 2, third TD has class column 3. The first TD also has a link. Also notice that barring the first company, which is Microsoft, all other companies have TR class SFO. That's for San Francisco. So now what we are going to do is that we want to highlight, or we want to select all the TRs. And in this practice, in order to show that something is being selected, in the end I'm adding the class highlight. As you can see here, the class highlight sets the background yellow so that we can be sure that these elements have been selected. Let's see what this code does. Here I'm selecting all the TR elements and I'm adding the class highlight. I click on run here and I can see that all the TRs have the background yellow. So that works. So this was a very simple, very small example of how we can select elements using TR. Here is another piece of JavaScript code. Here what I'm selecting is tr.sfo. If you have done any CSS work, then you know that dot represents a class. Just like here I have dot highlight to select all the classes with highlight. Here in JavaScript I'm saying that select only the TRs which has the class SFO. Now let's hit run and I can see that barring Microsoft, all other TRs got selected and they are highlighted. Here is another example. In this case I am doing hash goog. Let's look at the HTML code here. For this TR there is an ID goog, which is the stock symbol for Google. And just like CSS, by doing hash goog, I'm selecting this class, this element, and to that element I'm saying add class highlight. I hit run and I can see that Google row is highlighted. In the previous example, the code was like this: tr and then hash. There was no space in between. When we put a space between these two, then it means that first select all the tr elements and then look into their descendants, look into their children if someone is matching the next criteria. After selecting the TRs at this point of time, next jQuery will look into its children to see if anyone has an ID GUG. TR's children do not have GUG ID. That is because TR itself has GUG ID. Its children do not have the GUG ID. So if I execute this code, then no row is highlighted. In this example, I am selecting all the elements with a class column1. I notice that all the TDs, the first TDs, they have the class column1. So if I hit run, the first column of the table gets highlighted. In this example, first I'm saying tr hash appl. What that does is that it goes ahead and selects this element because this has ID AAPL. And then I'm saying that look into its children and then select only the TDs which has a class called column1. So that will select this one. Now let's click on run, and indeed the first column of row apple gets highlighted. Here I'm using what's called pseudo selectors. By saying tr colon even, I'm saying that select all the TRs which are in even rows. Click run and see the first one, which is 0th row, the second one which is the second, and then the 4th row gets highlighted. Remember, this is 0 based. Similarly, opposite of even, I can do odd. So tr odd, add class, and this will select the odd rows. Similar to odd, I can do first here, and that will get me the first row. And similarly, I can do last, and that will get me the last record. As with previous examples, these first and last, they can be combined with more selectors. Here I'm selecting tr with ID Cisco, that would be this element, and then the last TD. I hit run, and I am seeing Cisco's last column gets highlighted. Let's say that we want to select a TD element which contains the text Google. So what contains pseudo selector will do is it will look inside the text and it will look at the string that we have supplied. So here I'm saying that find the TDs which contain Google text, and here we have Google text. So let's run the code and we can see that Google text, the TD which contains Google text, has been highlighted. In fact, we can change it to say something like 321, and if I hit run, then this TD which contains the text 321.66 billion gets highlighted. jQuery provides a pseudo selector called not. So here I'm saying that find all the TRs which do not have class called SFO, and that would be only for the first row. because rest of the rows have class SFO. I hit run and the Microsoft record gets highlighted. One more pseudo selector is has. Here in the HTML markup, we can see that we have two div elements. The first one contains h1 and the second one contains table. What I'm interested in is selecting the div which has h1 element in its children, and once I hit run, then I see the market capitalization being highlighted. So far we have been providing all the selector string in one shot at the very beginning, but we can do this incrementally too. Here I'm selecting all the tr elements and then I'm using the method find. What find will do is that find will try to find elements which are children of the previously selected elements. So in this case, I'm selecting all the tr elements, and then among their children, I'm trying to find all the td which has class column 3. I hit run and I get the third column getting highlighted. The same piece of code could also be written in one string like this. If I hit run, I see the third column being highlighted. I just wanted to bring it to your attention that find is another good utility method. Similar to find, there is filter, but it's different in many ways. Find tries to find new elements within the children of the previously selected elements, while filter, true to its name, filters the list of the collection that has already been built. It does not try to find new elements. It filters the collection which has already been built. So in this case, I'm building a collection of all the tr elements, and then I'm saying filter and keep only those tr elements which has the class SFO. I hit run, and barring the Microsoft record, all of the record gets highlighted. Let's look at one more td example, find example. I'm selecting all the trs and then I'm selecting all the tds within those trs, and if I hit run, I get the full table highlighted. If I replace find with filter here, then what I'm saying that in the given collection of tr elements, find the trs which are tds, and that is just does not make sense. And if I hit run now, I will see no record is highlighted. So this brings out the contrast between find and filter. Here we are seeing a new method called next, and true to its name, next finds the next element. The first part of the selector is find the tr which has id Cisco, so that would be this element, and then next, so the next of this tr is this tr, and add the class highlight. So if I hit run, then indeed the Google record gets highlighted because this is the next record to Cisco. In this example, I'm using next all. Previously we saw next. So next just selects the next element. Next all, true to its name, it selects all the next elements. So once again, I'm selecting the Cisco TR, and then it will select next all. So next to Cisco we have Google and Apple. If I hit run, those two records get highlighted. Next can also be applied after a string of many selector elements. So here I am selecting the Cisco TR element and then select TD with column 2 class. So that will get me the Cisco record and then TD class 2. So that will be this TD. And then I'm saying next. So the next of Cisco would be this 92.40B, and I'm highlighting. I'm going to hit run, and the last column of Cisco gets highlighted. Similar to next, we have prev, which stands for previous. So here, once again, I'm selecting the middle column of Cisco, and then I'm saying prev. So that will get me to this TD. And indeed, that's the record TD that gets highlighted. We have seen next, prev, and now it's time for siblings. True to its name, siblings selects all the siblings. So once again, here I'm selecting the middle column of Cisco record. So Cisco, this is the middle TD, and the siblings of these are this TD, are this one and this one. If I hit run, the first column and the third column, which are the siblings, get highlighted. What if I also want to include myself to the collection? Previously we saw that siblings gets us the first column and the third column. If I want to include the current column, which is the second column, then I need to add and self. Let's try that. Hit run, and this time all the three columns get highlighted. And similar to siblings, we have parent, and true to its name, parent selects the parent element. Once again, we are selecting the middle column of Cisco record. So Cisco, this is the middle column. The parent of this would be, the parent of this TD is this whole TR. So if I hit run, then the whole TR gets highlighted. Similar to parent, we have parents, and parents keeps going up the parent chain and it keeps adding to the collection. If I hit run, the whole document, the whole page gets a background because parent keeps going up the chain and it selects the TR, then it selects the table, then it selects the div, and then it selects the body and the root element. Let's say that I want to select the column which have market capitalization value more than 200. So how do I do that? That can be done using filter. Previously we saw that filter was taking us Jquery Selector. Well, filter also takes a function, and in this case we will use the function to get to the elements that we are interested in. So here I have a function which takes the index. Index will give you whether it's a first TD, second TD, third TD, and that sort of thing. And then I am doing $this So the dollar this will convert the current TD, which I am iterating through, into a jQuery object so that I can do dot text. And the dot text will get me all the text. So for this TD, it will give me Microsoft. For this TD, it will give me MSFT. And I am doing parse int. The reason why I'm doing parse int, because I want to compare the value, the return value, with the number 200. So I'm trying to convert that into an integer number. And that value is stored here. And then if the value is more than 200, then I say true. Let's hit run, and I see that Microsoft and Apple, which has market capitalization of more than 200, they are highlighted. However, notice that here we are going through all the TD elements, which means that we are going through this, then this one, then this one, and that's not very efficient. That's because we already know that the market capitalization value is available only in TD with class column 3. So we can make our code more efficient by saying TD dot column 3. And now if I execute my code, I'll still get those two records. Jquery selectors are very powerful. They provide a lot of selector mechanism by which you can get to the elements you want to get to. I encourage you to look at jQuery documentation and to play more with it to gain a better understanding. If you want to get to do your practice on this set of HTML elements, then I would recommend you to go to bigbinary.com/downloads, and there you will get this link where you can download the practice material, and you will also get the links to all of these previous examples that I illustrated. That's the end of this screencast. Thank you for watching, and if you have any feedback, send it to me.